Okay, I believe I am live now. Um, I wanted to make a short video on the current assignment about taking taking notes on your research sources. You see here, you have an assignment. Let me go here. You have an assignment that is due on Wednesday, and over the next, I don't know, week and a half or so, we are going to be taking notes on our research. So your assignment right here, it uh, it is you'll see the directions here, and attached to the directions you will see um, this graphic organizer, which is meant to help you organize your notes. So these you can read on your own. I'm just gonna kind of narrate what I'm looking for here out loud. Um, so in your notes, you're going to be taking basically in sections at a time. You are going to be recording here a bit of a summary on what's happening in that section, and that's like a 3 paragraph section at a time, roughly. You can change the number of paragraphs if some paragraphs are super small or some are very, very big, because you see you don't have a lot of space here. So you use this space as you kind of see fit, but I would kind of like it to fit in this graph. And this here is just on the first page. You're filling out your student name, title of the title of the source, and the author. Um, you might have to change some font sizes here and there. Why this one is at 3 for some reason. Um, anyway, and also a link to the source. These things I'm just going to assume you know how to do. I'm not going to go through them. But I am going to go through here. It's not only how to put notes into this particular graphic organizer here. It's also how to take notes to some extent without copying and pasting. We don't want to go through a whole note-taking process in which you're copying and pasting. Um, what we are beginning to do here is to translate this content into your own words, and that way we are gonna walk ourselves further and further away from from plagiarism issues. Okay. Now, anyway, okay. So the topic that I was searching here was the challenges in the history of female education, and I also put the word academic on there because uh, I wasn't getting a lot of hits that I liked, and when I added that word, I was able to get some more that were a little bit had they balance with the right amount of content with also um, they communicated it the right way too, or in a way that I liked, that I could engage with. So okay. So this is it. It comes out of Oklahoma State University. It's by a PhD. This is going to be, is this the one I was looking at? Yeah, it is. It's going to be a legitimate source. Um, so here is, okay. So here we have the abstract, which is usually abstract means just kind of summary. It's going to give you a 1 paragraph summary of what it is you're about to read. And I've already looked over this just a little bit. I have a good sense that it's kind of what I'm looking for. The title of it is The Historical Role of Women in Higher Education. Um, Let me enlarge this a little bit. And we're just gonna go through. We're gonna kind of read together. I want you to kind of think through this with me, rather than just kind of observing and laughing and pointing at me, um, because I want you to think through your sources as you read them as well. So The role of female professors and administrators in the United States higher education has evolved with some interesting twists and turns since the early 1800s. Even when female employees were rare in business settings, women found their niche in teaching. However, certain events in United States history called for women to play important roles in business as well as education. Observation of the employment trends for females offers an interesting look at the evolving role of women in the United States workforce in general and the university setting in particular. Okay. Um, so, summary wise, I can already make a few comments about this. Okay. Initially, here that among the few roles that women could find in the work world initially, even as far as the early 1800s, um, women could find those roles in teaching. I'm going to write that. Women could find rare employment roles in teaching as early as the 1800s. I'm just gonna, I want to keep my notes separate here. I'm gonna use a little bit more space, so I'm gonna make this a bit smaller. How about 10? That'll work for now. And I'm gonna shift return because for some reason it keeps putting a space. Anyways, another thing I noticed here, because I'm still thinking about this, is that observation of the employment trends for females offers an interesting look at the evolving role of women in the workforce. Okay, so I know that this author will trace female employment trends. That is just to see what they tell us, I assume. So we'll see. In black women and white women in the professions, Sokoloff defined the professions as the lead occupations such as law, medicine, architecture, ministry, dentistry, judicial positions, science, and university teaching. These areas qualify as being distinct because the professions are awarded a degree of honor and status in United States society, and the employees in these areas have traditionally received substantial internal and monetary rewards for the services they provide. The autonomy of the professions and esteem that accompanies their positions can be attributed to the high levels of education they have achieved. Okay, I'm noticing something. Hopefully you are too. But let's finish this. The specialized training they have pursued allocates to them a large body of knowledge and allows them to be classified as experts in their chosen fields. Sokoloff's study revealed that during the 2 decades from 1960 to 1980, okay, very recent, relative to 1800 anyway, these professional areas constituted the highest paid occupations and provided the greatest amount of autonomy and control to white males, the group that comprised the majority of the employees in these professions. Okay. So this person in this paragraph is keen to point out the professions, and then goes on to define it. So I'm going to assume that that is important. That is important to what it is she intends to say from here on out. If you pull down Shift and press Return, it will jump right underneath that line. Anyways, okay. The professions. So I'm gonna give examples, and short of writing them all out, I am I am going to just, I wonder if that worked. I don't know if that worked. I'm just going to copy and paste that here. It did. Okay. And also that I wanted to note here that, okay, so autonomy, that means independence. So the people that have these jobs are the people that have the most independence. I'm just going to note that. Notice I'm translating this into, the word independence is a little more accessible. I'm going to use that word. With these jobs. Independence more available to those with these jobs. Okay, so, and also the big drop here at the end, and so you notice, again, I should go back here. One section I have here for summary, I'm just taking note of the things that are happening. Down here, I have key moments, concepts, or powerful quotes. And I might also say, I might also just change this to key, or put here, anyways, key moments, comments. That is your comments about the concepts. I think that comes across a little better. Key moments, comments, or powerful quotes. I might end up putting that down here because this idea, Sokolov's study revealed that during 2 decades, from 1960 to 1980, these professional areas, the professions, constituted the highest paid occupations and the greatest amount of autonomy and control to white males. So, you know what? I might. I have pointed out that over here, these are things that really stick out to me. The kinds of stuff that I'm putting down here. I don't know why it's starting way down in the middle down here, but we'll see how I can work that out. Okay. All right. Let me try this again. And is there also a way text fitting? Shrink text. Sorry about this. Size, position, top left, size and rotation. Oh, I don't know. Dang it. I'll figure this out later. Okay. Okay, that's better. That's all I wanted. And And I want to make sure that I quote this to remind myself that this wasn't me that said it, it was the author. Okay. But I quoted this just because, that's the next page. Just because it is sort of a powerful way to express many of the things that she had already been saying. All right. So I'm already guessing here that what we're going to find out in the next paragraph is going to have to do with how men were the ones that were primarily giving the kind of education towards positions like these. The only ones that were given education, but we'll see. So one more paragraph here. I could fit both. We'll see if I can fit both in here. So the semi-professions were occupations that were not as elite as the professions. The semi-professions. Let's record that. Um, Semi. Okay, I mean, and this is terminology that I'm not really familiar with. I mean, I've heard these words, but in this context, I don't understand them, or I haven't heard them in this kind of conversation. So that's why I should be recording these here. Your note should be a place for you to record things you don't know. So semi-professions, I forgot what they said about it. Occupations that were not as elite as the professions. Okay. Not as elite as the professions. And when you're taking notes, it is a good place to use a bullet point style. You are not going to be writing in, and I'm just using 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my form of bullet point here. You do not want to be writing in paragraph style here already. We're just assembling ideas, okay? Anyways, so what is she going to say? They included occupations such as elementary teaching, nursing, librarianship, and social work. A list that reflects a female-saturated group of positions. During the decades between 1960 and 1980, white males were predominant in the world of the professions. I feel like she should be using italics around or something. But anyway, white females were predominant in the world of semi-professions. However, during the same period, Sokolov noted tremendous change occurred for women in the workforce. Okay. We're getting the lay of the land. Okay. I want to note the types of jobs that are included. So I'm going to press Control C, which means copy, and you can use it in some places. I just don't want notes full of copy and pasted stuff here. I'm just using it to make it convenient for me. Also next here, is there something else? White males predominating in the world of the professions. I already kind of knew that or assumed that. All right. White females were predominant in the world of semi-professions. Let's note that. I'm just going to say did they say white females? White females. Okay. Interesting. Race is working its way in here, even when we're writing about women, unsurprisingly, I guess. And okay, I'm going to make this paragraph 1 through 4. You do have the liberty to do that. We look back over here. You see this fourth paragraph here is small, and it also fits in with her. This is her whole introduction section here. Okay, so in order to discuss the role of women in higher education, particularly in the professoriate and administration, because remember the name of this article is, she's talking about women in higher education. So as teachers and but she's taken the lay of the whole land. She's giving the whole picture before she talks about that specifically. Anyway, particularly in the professoriate and administration, it's necessary to observe the role of women in the workforce. Just what I was saying just now, and how the percentages of females in various occupations, but particularly in the professions, have fluctuated during the history of the United States. The following discussion focuses on the occupational groups called the professions. How the percentages of women in various occupations. Okay. All right. So she is basically now just basically here fully stated her author purpose. In other words, her thesis statement. And that is, I don't know why it's not. Okay, let's stop using all this space. There we go. Her thesis here, if you were able to pick it up, is going to be about how women, she used the word fluctuated in in, let's say, in elite jobs. That is to say, more or less like moved around, went up and down, um, fluctuated. Let's say in elite jobs, or with, I'll say, with access to. Okay. So, key moments, comments, or powerful quotes. Here's where, down here, this is something I suggest down here. This is, right here is where we're just getting pure information. But down here is also a place we want to record your thoughts. So, one thing I'm going to just note down here, maybe it's a repetition, but it seems to be important, is I'm just going to note that, like the professions seems to be a place where, where special education is needed. I'll look forward to finding out about when and how women were able to access that education. Also, what prevented them from accessing it. Hopefully, some of these things are things that I'll find out as I continue reading. There probably might be things I want to end up writing myself about too. If if I don't find them out as I continue reading this, then maybe I'll conduct my research elsewhere. But anyway, for this first row here, I'm done. Okay. Now the goal here is, before Monday, is for you to write notes like this on your whole source. As you can see, it tells me up here my source is 12 pages. And to be honest, let's see. She has a background section. I haven't flipped through all of this yet. Women in higher education. I don't know yet whether I want to use this whole thing, so I'm just flipping. You can see there's a lot of paragraphs here. And there's a conclusion. Okay. So it looks like, where did I stop off? I stopped off right here. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3 paragraphs, 4, 5. I think this is part of the same paragraph. No, it's not. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You can see that's a small paragraph. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. There's a lot of paragraphs in this. Okay. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30, 31, about 32. Okay, almost 33 paragraphs in this. Okay, so that means I'm going to be making 11 rows of this. So I'm going to use this. Here's 1, here's 2. Next page. Here. Next page. 4. Next page. 6. Is there another page? Yeah, 8. So, and then I'll need 3 more rows after this. And then that's going to be all my notes on my first source. It does seem like a lot, although you did notice there was a lot of text in this. And you know what? I don't hate that. This is going to be to be honest, after researching this, I might have a lot of my research done, okay, for my paper. So if I find two more sources that are on level with this or almost as good as this, I could probably be done with my research. So do not be intimidated by the fact if it's a lot of text like this. And a lot of the stuff I read to that point was really good too. So if it keeps going that way, this could be great for me. Do not be intimidated if it's a lot. Like the more research you're able to get out of it, the closer you are to being done with your research. I'm gonna clean this up too. But yeah. So again, if your if your source has 12 paragraphs, then you would be doing divided by 3. You'd be doing 4 rows, and that would just be these two pages here, basically. I mean, and sure, that's something that would be easy to turn in by Wednesday, but it won't be something that's going to provide you a lot once you start writing your own research paper. Because I want to point out here that all of your writing is going to come from these notes. By the time I start writing my paper, I'm not going to be on this site very much anymore, if at all. I'm going to be looking at my notes right here, okay? So when you start writing, this is, this right here is going to be, the holy grail for you. It's going to be the place where you get everything, where you get all your notes from when you begin writing, okay? So that's pretty much everything I wanted to say in order to set you on the right path with this particular assignment and what I'm looking for. One source and your notes on that one source by Friday. Again, let's kind of get in the role here, or get on pace, because we'll be doing this note taking for the next week and a half or so, roughly. Okay.